all just Meghan Markle's stage. We're expected to buy it. But she said she was in the trenches. She alludes to being in the trenches when she was in the British royal family.
Mm.
Girl, you lived in a castle. Like, you got a princess title. People were falling at your
There are
feet.
people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for
Wasn't supposed to be the one to set the entertainment world on fire that night. Everyone tuned into the 2023 BET Awards expecting glitz glamour and a few viral moments, but what nobody expected was for Perry Hollywood's soft-spoken mogul and longtime supporter of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to grab the mic and drop what felt like a live expose. His words weren't sharp in delivery, but the meaning behind them sliced through Meghan's carefully polished image like a hot knife through butter when Perry talked about people who borrow blessings like they're owed, but never return the favor. Every single person in that audience knew exactly who he meant. This wasn't just another award show speech. This was Tyler Perry, the man who gave them refuge when nobody else would, finally breaking his legendary silence. Let's rewind to 2020, because this is where the whole Tyler Perry and Meghan Markle story really begins, and honestly, when you hear the full scope of what this man did for them, it'll make your jaw drop to the floor. So Meghan and Harry are basically homeless celebrities at this point. They've made just one of the most dramatic exits in entertainment history. They've got nowhere to go, no solid income, and paparazzi are hunting them down like they're the most wanted fugitives in America. Enter Tyler Perry riding in like some kind of billionaire superhero. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning. As working members of the royal family, Prince Harry and Meghan stepped down from royal duties last year. This man didn't just offer them a couch to crash on. We're talking about Perry handing over the keys to his $18 million Beverly Hills mansion, complete with all the bells and whistles. But wait, it gets even more insane. Harry didn't just stop at the house. He covered their security costs, paid their utility bills, handled their logistics, and basically ensured that they had everything needed to disappear from the world's radar.
Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning as working members of the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan stepped down from royal duties.
At the time, everyone was calling it the most generous move in Hollywood history. Here's Tyler Perry, who barely knew these people personally, opening up his entire life to help two celebrities who were basically radioactive in the industry. Meghan was treating Perry like her personal therapist during this period, calling him at all hours, leaning on him emotionally, and basically using him as her security blanket. But here's where the fairy tale friendship starts to get real ugly real fast as the months turned into years and as Meghan and Harry started signing those massive multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify. Something pretty disturbing became crystal clear. There was never any plan, not even a conversation, about paying Tyler Perry back for his incredible generosity. Not a single cent, not even a thank you check, just complete radio silence. Tyler Perry didn't need to name names. He didn't have to shout at the 2023 BET Awards. He stepped on stage calm and measured and delivered one of the coldest, most calculated takedowns in recent memory. His words were simple: some folks borrow blessings like they're owed, but never return the favor. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it landed like a punch. Perry shared a story offering someone his home, his help, and his heart, and how once they were back on their feet, they disappeared. No gratitude, no reciprocity, just silence. Insiders immediately recognized the subtext. This wasn't a vague life lesson. It was the culmination of years of unspoken tension between Perry and Meghan Markle. And while Perry never said her name, the message was unmistakable. He'd bitten his tongue for years, but something had clearly shifted. The man who once risked his own security and reputation to shelter Harry and Meghan had finally decided to speak, not out of rage, but out of clarity, out of disappointment.
Meghan Markle recently said that you reached out to her and said, come, you can live in my home.
Stay in my house.
Yeah, it was a very difficult time for them. And what I know about the two of them, and I wish the world knew how much they love these two people love each other. They found each other.
The speech drew gasps backstage and sparked instant speculation. Online celebrity circles were buzzing, not just because of what Perry said, but how precisely he said it. It was a warning shot in plain sight. By this point, Tyler Perry had already given more than most friends would ever consider: a mansion, full security, and total support when Harry and Meghan fled the UK. But it wasn't enough. According to multiple sources, the breaking point came with a phone call, one Meghan allegedly framed as a simple favor. She wanted Perry's private jet, full access, no discussion of cost. No, mention of scheduling, no awareness of the logistics required to move a multi-million-dollar aircraft. Just can we use it? When Perry paused, not even said no, just paused, Meghan reportedly snapped. She accused him of backing out, of abandoning their shared mission, the implication that supporting her wasn't a choice, it was a duty. Perry, usually quiet and conflict-averse, didn't hold back requests, became demands. He later told a confidant, and I realized this wasn't gratitude, it was greed.
Or my help? Some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
That one moment shifted everything. The man who had once opened his doors and his wallet realized the friendship had been replaced by entitlement. What started as empathy had turned into expectation and eventually exploitation. This incident marked the final turning point. Perry stepped back, and although he didn't go public immediately, those close to him say this is when the mask came off. When Tyler Perry first reached out to Meghan Markle in 2018, there were no cameras, no deals, no expectation of anything in return. He didn't know her, they'd never even met, but he saw the headlines, the pressure, the storm around her wedding, and felt compelled to send a message of quiet support. I'm praying for you, he wrote, and I understand what this means. Meghan would later recall that message in a 2022 interview, saying it stuck with her, but she didn't call. Not then. That would come later when the stakes were higher and the need was real. Most of you might not know, but Meghan had actually emotionally manipulated Tyler Perry for that mansion. You see, 2 years after that first message, Meghan finally reached out. It was early 2020. She and Harry had just stepped back from royal duties and were living in Canada, isolated and exposed. Their taxpayer-funded security was about to vanish, and their location had been leaked to the press. It wasn't just uncomfortable, it was dangerous. Perry took the call. He described it as emotional, even desperate. Meghan crying, afraid. He told her what she needed to hear. Her fears were valid. Her safety mattered. He compared it to what happened to Princess Diana and offered her everything: his home, his security, his protection, no hesitation.
Meghan Markle is in crisis after a series of epic disasters, including the total failure of her tell-all interview with Emma Grede, allegations against her BFF and Lilibet's godfather, no less, Tyler Perry, and now this from her allies at People magazine, her favorite publication, which has gone public on Kate's summer of strength. Writing, there are some major shifts coming. As Princess Kate privately rebuilds after a year of cancer treatment, she's stepping out with a new purpose and the poise of a queen in waiting. Nothing's working. And People magazine, which she has just spent the past 2 years coveting, has decided to become Team Catherine all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how things are shifting continually, always shifting to the downfall. Meghan can't ever seem to climb up to get above all the things that are happening to her, and anything that she does will continually fail. She cannot seem to rise above all the backlash that she gets. And I personally, Dan, believe it is going to continue to happen and get worse until she is able to make a reckoning for all the horrible things that she has done. No one's going to give her grace. No one's going to give her a real opportunity to shine the way she thinks she should be shining, because there is this immense amount of negativity that Meghan created off of the back of the late queen. And I think Meghan hasn't realized the strength, the power that the late queen had, because this is the reason how she treated the late queen and how she treated the royal family. People will never forget, but Meghan wants to keep trying. Like, people should just take this as a new moment and let her shine. It will never, ever, ever happen. She has done horrible things to a very powerful and beloved woman of the monarchy. She cannot move forward ever. It's just not going to happen. But it is so fun to watch this happen, because we see the payback now. The payback is how you are going to be received forever until you make a reckoning. So yeah, we love it. And it will happen continually.
At the time, Perry believed he was doing the right thing, offering safety to two people who had just walked away from the most powerful institution in the world. But in hindsight, that was the moment it started what began as empathy quietly morphed into a transaction one Perry never agreed to. He wasn't just offering a home anymore. He was footing bills, managing logistics, shielding them from the world, while they negotiated million-dollar media deals behind closed doors. And Perry, he was never included in the plan, not even once. For months he gave and waited and said nothing. But as Perry later confided to friends, a realization began to settle, and they didn't just need a friend, they needed a resource, a name, a gate, a protector. And when they didn't need that anymore, they vanished. In Perry's own words, "I offered my home, my help, and my heart, and when they got what they needed, I never heard from them again." The betrayal didn't come all at once. It revealed itself slowly in unanswered messages and growing entitlement. In the silence that followed success, Meghan had cried to him like he was her last hope. But when the Netflix camera started rolling, when the Spotify checks cleared, Perry became a footnote, a favor forgotten. He never asked for repayment, but the complete lack of acknowledgement, no offer to reimburse, no plan to make things right, made it clear he had been used. The gratitude wasn't real. The connection wasn't mutual. He had played into their hands. And perhaps the most painful part, Perry had seen it before in family members and acquaintances and people who only called when they needed something, but he didn't expect it here, not from them. Harry also provided his own private security team to protect them, and when that wasn't enough, Harry and Meghan hired Gavin Debecker and Associates, one of the most elite personal protection firms in the world, used by the likes of Jeff Bezos and Tom Hanks. That service reportedly cost around $8,700 per day. And yes, Perry covered it. The entire arrangement. Paparazzi were relentless. At least 5 drone incidents were reported to the LAPD during their stay, drones flying within 20 feet of the home, trying to catch a glimpse of the couple and their infant son. The security teams responded to all of it under Perry's dime. While Perry has never publicly disclosed exact figures, multiple reports estimate he spent between $140,000 to $200,000 covering housing, security, and living expenses during this period. Whether those numbers are exact or conservative, the message is clear. Harry gave them the space, safety, and stability they urgently needed, no strings attached. But as time passed, the lack of reciprocity became glaring. While Harry and Meghan inked multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, those who helped them behind the scenes, like Perry, were never acknowledged in any real financial way. There was no offer to repay, no discussion about settling expenses, not even a symbolic gesture. The most telling aspect of Meghan Markle's recent behavior isn't what she's saying, it's what she's deliberately choosing not to say. As Tyler Perry faces a devastating $260 million essay lawsuit that threatens to destroy his entertainment empire, the Duchess of Sussex has adopted a strategic silence that reveals far more about her character than any carefully crafted public statement ever could.
It's like a web, an absolute web, whatever direction, you know. And as for Tyler Perry, the people are believing these ticks because he's connected to Meghan Markle. People are looking for the bad, and the bad seem to align themselves with the bad, and the good connect with the good, you know. So yeah, I just it's a royal mess.
When Derek Dixon filed his explosive lawsuit against Tyler Perry alleging years of attack and battery, it created an impossible situation for Meghan. This is the same Tyler Perry who opened his $18 million Beverly Hills mansion to her and Prince Harry in 2020 when they desperately needed refuge after leaving royal duties. Harry didn't just provide housing, he covered security costs, offered emotional support, and even became godfather to their daughter, Princess Elizabeth. Perry publicly defended the couple on multiple occasions, appearing in their Netflix documentary, where he compared the royal family's treatment to them to a batter. He told Oprah that he recognized the signs of a stating, "This woman was aid, and so was Prince Harry." Yet when Perry faces the most serious allegations of his career, Meghan has remained conspicuously absent from any public show of support. One who popped up in Meghan Markle's Netflix documentary with Prince Harry and absolutely tore to pieces the British royal family, indeed, saying that he would not have agreed to become the godfather of Princess Lily if it meant attending the christening in Britain. Remember, that would have been. Critics argue this silence reveals her true character, someone who takes generosity for granted but abandons allies when supporting them becomes inconvenient. As one royal commentator noted, her silence really questions her priorities and shows her selfishness because she knows that supporting Perry could damage her carefully cultivated brand. The pattern of strategic disappearance. Meghan's vanishing act during the Perry scandal follows a troubling pattern of calculated silence. When controversy strikes those in her orbit, her charity gala honoring her work was unexpectedly postponed in June 2025 due to civil unrest in Los Angeles. But insiders suggest the timing was convenient, given the mounting Perry scandal. The Natural History Museum event would have marked one of Meghan's most significant public appearances in Los Angeles this year, yet she allowed it to be canceled rather than face potential questions about her relationship with Perry.
Meghan Markle is in crisis after a series of epic disasters, including the total failure of her tell-all interview with Emma Grede, allegations against her BFF and Lilibet's godfather, no less, Tyler Perry.
Even more telling is her response to criticism of her Netflix lifestyle series with Love Meghan. When faced with backlash over everything from her expensive Le Crochet cookware to her lack of culinary training, Meghan reportedly threw up her hands and said, "This is a thing in 2025. Her incredulity at facing criticism reveals someone who expects praise but disappears when accountability arrives. Several surveys paint a devastating picture of Meghan's declining public standing. A YouGov survey from May 2025 shows that only 20% of Brits maintain a favorable opinion of Meghan, while 65% express negative views. The lowest level recorded since polling began in 2017 in the United States, her home country. Nearly half, 46%, now have an unfavorable view of the Duchess. This dramatic decline coincides with her pattern of strategic silence and calculated disappearances. When the public expects authentic response to genuine crisis, Meghan vanishes. When loyalty to friends like Perry is tested, she becomes invisible. When her own projects face legitimate criticism, she expresses bewilderment rather than engagement. Meghan's vanishing act is having real professional consequences. Test screenings for With Love Meghan Season 2 reportedly tanked, with reactions described as worse than lukewarm. Netflix executives are reportedly freaking out because even her core fan base doesn't seem interested anymore. Her podcast with Lemonada Media has been pushed to 2025 ostensibly to avoid conflicts with her other projects, but industry insiders suggest the delay reflects concerns about her declining popularity and the potential fallout from the Perry scandal. Multiple sources indicate that Hollywood investors are backing out of projects associated with Meghan, citing reputational concerns. One producer reportedly withdrew support from a Netflix pitch just hours after Perry's alleged Bet Awards comments, with another investor stating bluntly, "I don't want to be involved in something that feels this toxic." Perhaps most damaging is Meghan's response to direct questions about public perception when asked on the Aspire with Emma Grede podcast.